to, yeah, you know the way.
I have to correct the record here. I am not from China, so...
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. المهم.
Didn't tell us where you are from.
Okay, my parents are from Taiwan, but that's not the point. So, there was something I wanted to talk about and focus on today for a little bit, and I think I want to maybe get some answers from the musallin here, the people who are praying here, so we can speed this up. We all know for a fact that in Ramadan, when we are fasting, that there is an element of tarbiyatun, or you can say some sort of educational benefit that you can get, right? Yeah. Now a lot of times people, they think that fasting is simply an issue of al-hissi or al-badani, something related to the body. But wallahu a'lam, there is actually something that is greater than just simply having it as, منع الطعام ومنع الشراب ومنع العلاقات الجنسية مع أهلك. It's not just simply the issue of not eating, not drinking, no intimate relations with your wife. There is a different element, a different side to it that we have to think about what is being addressed here. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not allow us to do these certain things in the month of Ramadan, are these things technically haram in Islam?
No.
Some people are shaking their heads, some people are not shaking their heads. Are they technically haram or are they not haram?
Not
They're not haram. أكل الطيبات is not محرم. ولكن في وقت معين, right, من الفجر حتى المغرب محرم, right? شرب عصير برتقال حرام ولا حلال؟ حلال طيبة, نعم. لكن لو شربت ما بين الفجر والمغرب محرم أم لا؟ طيب. So if you're drinking orange juice in between Fajr until Maghrib, it's forbidden. But outside of that, it's okay. But there's no doubt that orange juice is totally legit if you're going to drink it. Now the issue is, why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbid us even from those things that are allowed? Why? Why would Allah forbid us from things that are allowed?
Train us so that we could stay
You do it. That's fine. Okay, so to train us from what?
To stay away from the Muharramat.
That is true. But there is something, so the brother was saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to train us to stay away from the Muharramat. Now, okay, yes, further.
To make us feel what the poor people feels.
Mumkin, it could be, but I don't necessarily agree with that way of thinking. Not because I'm not trying to say that there's no wisdom in it, but it's because I personally I'm against the idea that we do these things simply just to make someone feel like they're fortunate. Do you see what I'm trying to say? You don't need to be hungry in order to make yourself feel fortunate. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't need to be hungry in order to make yourself fortunate. Because imagine if I went to a homeless person and I said to him, today I didn't eat or drink or fast. I didn't eat or drink today because I felt sorry for you. How do you think that person's going to feel? Huh? Very, very disrespected, right? Like, excuse me, you didn't need to do that for me, right? So then what is the point? Is it لِأَجْلِ الْفُقْرَاءِ الْمَسَاكِينَ? No. The Prophet ﷺ tells us in a hadith, through hadith Qudsi, that all the amala of the ibadah is for who? For whoever it is that you want to do it for. إِلَّا الصَّوْمِ فَإِنَّهُ لِي وَأَنَا أَجْزِي بِهِ. Except for fasting, because you do it for Allah alone, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's not because we're doing it for the poor people. It's not because you can lose weight. It's not because Islam is solely, iftarada, or you can say that it's because we have a health issue. No. But I want to talk about something that a lot of us we haven't thought about, and that is the hidden meaning. The other hidden things that we can learn from the fasting and of Ramadan. So when Allah says for us not to eat and not to drink and not to get angry, so I just want to talk about these two things today. Not eating, not drinking, and not getting angry. What is the implied meaning, or what can we learn from the fact that Allah has not allowed us to eat and drink? What is the meaning of eating and drinking? No, that's not the answer. You didn't listen to the question.
It is being human.
It is being human, that is true. Yeah, of course, yeah. But the thing is, if you think about what eating and drinking symbolizes, eating and drinking is actually, if you think about the issue of the word in Arabic, al-ju', right? For those of you who know Arabic, alhamdulillah. For those of you, too bad. So if you think about the word al-ju', and if you think about what is, to be full, what is it? Shab', right? To be full. Or shab'an. From the word, okay? But that's a sifa. So when you are full, when you are shab'an, right? This entire kirsh is full. This is mahshi bil-ta'am, right? So when you have your entire stomach full, what ends up happening? There is satisfaction. There is definitely the aspect of overeating, right? So we could say that the issue of ju' is a physical one, of course, but the aspect of eating, definitely we all make the mistake of falling into the sin of tama', of being greedy. So when you say in Arabic someone is atshan, someone is thirsty, what is the Arabic word for someone who has finished drinking their water? Huh? Yes, right. So someone who has finished drinking their water, you say لَقَدْ ارْتَوَيْتُ, right? You don't say قَدْ شَبِعْتُ مِنَ الْمَاءِ تَقُولُ ارْتَوَيْتُ, right? So you say I have now been satisfied and quenched of my thirst. So if you think of these two things, to be filled up and to be quenched. To be quenched means you can think of it as to quench a desire and a satisfaction. There's nothing left that you want anymore. Now this is something that we have to think about in the month of Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not just simply telling us, okay, you don't eat, you don't drink, you don't do these things, but Allah is trying to teach us another thing. And that is when Allah tells you that you're not supposed to eat these things, even though they are halal, what Allah is trying to teach us is not to be greedy in the other things that are halal in the world. Because eating pie in the morning is fine, eating chicken, eating beef, eating all these things are totally halal, there's nothing wrong with them. But the issue is, when are you going to say enough? When are you going to say لَقَدْ ارْتَوَيْتُ? مَتَى سَتَقُولُ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ? The Prophet ﷺ, he tells us in a hadith that is very, very clear that the son of Adam, if he had a valley of gold, wadi min dhahab, he would have wanted a second one, right? He would have wanted a second valley of gold. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us to fast, He's also teaching us the art of satisfaction. That yes, outside Ramadan, نعم ممكن تحب أن تأكل منسف if you're Jordanian, okay, kabsa if you are it's not Saudi, it's Saudi, right? Okay, and what's the Egyptian one? Yeah, or Albanian, or whatever it is, right? Or biryani. So the issue is, when you're outside of the month of Ramadan, you're supposed to think back about what you've learned from Ramadan. And that is, yes, in Ramadan we are learning about the issue of greed and how much we actually need. And a lot of the things that we are doing in our life today can be solved by stop being greedy. So we don't allow yourself to be shackled. So you don't allow yourself to be shackled, right, by your desires, right? to be a prisoner. وَإِنَّ الْأَسِيرَ مَنْ أَسَرَهُ هَوَاهُ. The true prisoner of war is the one who is the prisoner to their own desires. Now the second point that I want to talk about is what? We said we were going to talk about two things. What's the second one? Anger. So the hadith of Rasulullah, he tells us what? If someone comes and tries to anger you, what do you say? Inni sa'im, that I am fasting. What can we learn from this? Yeah, sabr, yeah, that's pretty apparent, but I want something even hidden. شغلوا أذهانكم شوي على صوتكم ولا أكلتم الفول وخلاص تنامون الآن نومكم الفول لا ممكن ما تأكلون الفول لا بأس لا
Stay away from that word.
Yeah, that's too apparent. That stuff we hear it all the time. What if I told you that by the fact that the Prophet ﷺ is saying to you to tell someone else, Inni sa'im, this is fiqh awlawiyat. Do you know what fiqh awlawiyat is? Knowing what you should do and what you're not supposed to do at a specific time. Because you're saying to the person, I know that there is an issue coming up right now. I know it is probably very, very angry. It's very, very severe. But I know the art of prioritization. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to teach us. That at this moment, what is more important is my fasting. And I'm going to focus on that. And I'm not going to deviate from that. And I'm going to exercise patience. And I'm not going to say anything stupid. And I'm not going to allow myself to be immature. I'm going to say, I am fasting. So you're basically learning the art of how to prioritize what's important and what is not important. And a lot of the times that we have, a lot of the problems that we have today in having such, crazy hectic schedules is, it's because we don't know how to prioritize what's important and what is not important. Suddenly in Ramadan, we know that we need to read some more Quran. We know we need to do all of these things. But outside of Ramadan, when you say to someone, oh, I want to become closer to Allah Azza wa Jal, what direction do they have? Do they go to the masjid more often? Do they read Quran more often? Do they learn Arabic more? What do? They don't know exactly what to do. They don't have a sense of what to prioritize. And so when we come out of the month of Ramadan, brothers and sisters, as a concluding thought, if you want to be successful in this life and in the hereafter, you need to first prioritize those things which Allah has made fard. You have to do the prioritization of these things. لازم تقدم هذه الأشياء. يعني مثلا إنسان يذهب ويصلي 20 ركعة ما شاء الله. ولكن he prays 20 ركعات, right, in the night, but he leaves the 5 صلوات. إيش فايدة؟ مو فقط تعبان، يا ريت لو كان فقط هذا تعبان. يعني إنسان يصلي 20 ركعة في الليل، صح؟ ولكن 5 صلوات ما يصليها، إيش الفائدة؟ A person who prays 20 rak'ahs at night but doesn't pray the 5 salawat during the day, what's the point? So the thing is, you need to know how to prioritize. And if you want to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you need to take care of those things that Allah has already said they are fard upon you. And it's not just simply the issue of ta'adiyah, al-faridah. It's not the issue of just, I'm going to do it. It's you need to know if you're doing it right. You need to learn from your shaykh here, knowing, am I doing it right? Last question, how many of you have done Hajj Umrah? So, anyone that has done Hajj Umrah, you know that feeling, how you're like looking for every single issue in the Hajj Umrah. Is this halal? Is this haram? Does this break the ihram? Does this not break the ihram? Haven't you had that experience? But why is it that for the other 3 pillars of Islam, we don't think about it? Where is the hirs for the salah? Kayfiyat salah. Is this okay in salah? Is that not okay in salah? What about the issue of zakat? How many of you here actually know how to do your zakat? That you can honestly say to yourself, I feel good and I know that I have done my faridah for zakat. I know exactly what to do. Do you know? You have to ask yourself that. How careful are you when it comes to your fast? Are you as careful as when you were in Hajj asking the Shaykh, is it okay? A hair fell out. What's going to happen? So you need to know how to prioritize.